Ding, ding, ding. And in this corner, Shops. And in that corner, Kalo. Doxed.
Yeah, doxed. I am located at beep. All right. We just watched the Wings of Redemption fight versus Boogie 2988 something. Boogie. You know who Boogie is. Like, okay, so it was pathetic, dude. Like Boogie did not train even a little bit for that fight, dude. It was so bad. But Wings, man, I'm telling you, you can tell like
He actually like was taking it seriously.
he was, yeah, and I'm sure he took. Well, I think they got paid $10K for the fight. I think that's what Boogie said, like $10K.
Each, or
each,
one,
yeah.
Whoever won.
It's a good question. I don't know. Because Wings definitely won that.
Yeah.
So, like, you could tell Wings, like, he at least pretended to practice, Yeah, so, like, I want Wings to better his life because, like, honestly, I don't know how much longer he has to live based on his weight. But, like, I don't want anyone to be miserable when they're alive. You know what I mean? Really, I don't. Like, because, like, I've been depressed before because I hate where my life's going. It's like, dude... Like, you have to choose to come out of that. So like I want Wings to do better with his life. If he's leaning into the look here, look, listen, that's step one. Baby steps. And I know you can't walk that far because you're really big. But like baby steps. Like do it, man. Let's do it. Same thing with the guy that tried to ask Logan Paul for a job. Like, if that's how you went viral and you want to lean into that, can I have a job Logan Paul t-shirts? Fine. Like, you know what? Baby steps.
I'm just saying, I know Nick Avocado wasn't on their level. He was getting close.
Yeah.
And he lost all the weight. Just saying, it's doable.
Yeah,
you can happen.
Absolutely. If
I saw the same fire. If I saw the same fire in Wings' eyes, that it was on the treadmill, like, I think he'd knock it out.
Yeah, honestly, dude. But yeah, so good for Wings. Boogie, man, he's still got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I still kind of don't like him because he scams people, and
right.
for some reason, like he gets handed everything on a silver platter. Like I was sitting here, like there's no reason why he should have a super hot girlfriend, like zero. And like it's just he's really good at manipulating people.
And she has like that. I think that she had insecurity where like she needs to be needed or something like that, or she was afraid. She's afraid of abandonment or something. I'm like,
and like
all freaking guys to land on,
right? Like you can find an equally desperate guy who's not Boogie, so. I don't know, and like she helped him scam people because she was in that video where he's like fatty for life. Like she's sitting next to him.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, like she's that sad and deprived. And like I think she'll grow out of it. She was like 19.
really, really young.
Yeah,
that's probably where it comes from.
By the time she's 30, bro, she's gonna grow up, or maybe not. Maybe she's got it good. Like he's probably paying for everything.
Yeah.
It's probably a sugar daddy, sugar baby issue too. I think that's part of it. Like I think she said it where it's a toxic symbiotic. She has nowhere to go.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Right.
She even knows.
Yeah. So, it's sad, and it's also in some ways it pisses me off. But no, Wings. I hope he's bettering his life. But yeah, that fight, man, it was pretty telling on where they're both at. Like you could tell Boogie didn't do anything to prepare, and that was before the documentary came out.
Yeah.
So where he showed how pathetic he was. I even think he talked about in detail how much he got from that fight. So I think that's where I got the 10K figure from.
Yeah.
But I know he at least ripped off 10K from that crypto scam he pulled. But that's kind of what I wanted to talk about too. This crypto again. Yeah. Again, disclaimer, I don't know that much about crypto as far as like how it actually works. But honestly, dude, I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't think it works at all. I don't think there is a way where like, okay, so how does crypto work? I don't think it does. I don't think it actually has anything. I know there are some projects that I actually believe they are trying to build something. They want to add utility. Like I think Kuma is really working on like we're trying to add something practical to crypto.
Yeah.
That's what I'm bought into is Kuma. And I like I said, I think they're trying to do something with it. But I think for the most part, man, like when you ask me how does crypto work, I'm getting to the point, man, where I really don't think it does. I think it's just all fake numbers and stuff. And like I've always known that. Like there's no real utility to it. There's nothing for it. But man, I'm just gonna be real with you and honest. Like I don't think it has any practicality. I don't think it's ever going to on a major scale.
I think there's just way too many people out there wanting to scam people who have access. Like it's so accessible. That's the problem, is that it's not closed off and exclusive to like a set number of industries.
Right.
It's so accessible to everyone, like YouTube.
Yeah.
It's like saying, how do I be profitable on YouTube? honest to God luck. Like there's a lot of work that goes into it, but like 99% of it, any big YouTuber will tell you it's luck based, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's like the same thing. It's when everyone can have their hands on it, that kills your chances more and more and more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think you're gonna get rich quick unless there's just like a ton of luck behind it.
It's luck. It's literally it's like winning the lottery. Except more people win this time if you invested early enough. Yeah, when you brought up YouTube, it's like everyone and their mom, like literally everybody has a podcast. Like, and I'm talking with 3 people right now that want to start their own.
Right.
And like honestly, here's a hidden passion I didn't know I had. Like, I actually like producing them. I encourage people like, yeah, dude, set it up. I'll edit your first 2 or 3 episodes. Like, no problem. Like, actually, I enjoy that. I wonder if I could start a small side hustle on that, like editing podcasts. Like, I love it, actually.
People typically, like, I've talked to people like that too. Everyone I know is like, oh, yeah, I want to start one. I'm trying to. And they always get cold feet when it comes to like actually doing the first episode. Yeah. Or second episode or whatever.
Right. Because like their first episode probably takes a lot of energy. Yeah. I know it did for us. Well, at least for me. I don't know about you. Maybe you were like, "Oh, this is great. I feel energized from it." But no, it was a whole thing. So like, I see a lot of podcasts where they do one episode, and then they just never did it again. But yeah, no, I'm legit talking with like 3 people right this second who are like, "I want to do a podcast." Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's crazy to me that. Where was I going with that? Saturation. Like I said, everyone has a podcast or a YouTube channel or something. Like everyone wants to hop online and play games for money. Everybody wants to do it, and it's so oversaturated. Like there are really good shows and content out there that like people just will never see because like they'll post the video and it gets 5 views. Yeah. I think we're getting better about marketing. Like, I'm not even talking about promoting videos. I'm talking like thumbnails. I think those are doing really well. Tags, subject matter, like shorts. Like our shorts are good now, I think, as compared to say a year or 2 ago when it was just the very first iteration of our shorts was my phone, and I didn't even sync the mic audio with the phone audio, so it was just like literally whatever the phone heard is what the phone heard. And then when I finally fixed the audio, it was doing better. And then when I started adding clips and subtitles, and now we're getting some real banger hits with views. Like we had one that had 11,000 views, and I didn't boost it $1. It just did it on its own, and it got a lot of comments and stuff. And I don't think it got any subscribers, but I was like, views are like nothing to sneeze at. So, but like you said, YouTube, it just made it to where everybody can get on there, create an account for free. All you need is an email, and you have an account. And it's like
everyone has a phone with a camera.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I watched like my stalker. Like she kept threatening to start a podcast and talking about me on it. Like it never happened. But she posted shorts where she was just going like this on her phone, and she was like, "Ha ha ha, ha men suck, ha ha ha," and like that was her podcast. And I was like, but YouTube makes it that easy where you can just do that. And someone like Moist Critical, like he doesn't have a crazy high production value, but he's famous and like he's great. Like I'm not talking crap about him, but yeah, like he will admit like you just got to get lucky, So and that's what happened to him 20 years ago or 15. So, but anyway, like now back to crypto. You said it's so easy. Anyone can make a coin. Yeah. Anyone. Now not people like me who invest. Yeah, like it's luck based whether you're gonna make money on it, but like you said, now it's oversaturated. Anyone can make a meme coin. Like the word meme coin. I think Doge was the beginning of all these scams. Yeah. Like,
which wasn't really a scam at the beginning. No, but yeah, it's like everyone tapped into that.
Everyone tapped into anything's a meme coin. You know what I mean? And all the ripoff Doge coins too now are just it's insane. So, let me see, where was I going with that? The reason I brought up Doge was, so Doge right now is sitting at 17 cents per coin. And I read somewhere that it went during the election, when President Trump got elected, it went up, it doubled to 34 cents per coin. And since then, since inauguration, which was 2 months ago, it went down in worth $25 billion. And now it's at 17 cents. And I was like, it took $25 billion of our investments, our money, like you and me, to bring it up 17 cents. Yeah. $25 billion to bring it up 17 cents. I don't think it's ever going to hit $1, dude. Yeah. Or if it does, it's not going to hit $5. You know what I mean? Because like, it's just, it takes so much money just to boost it up 5 cents. Yeah. It takes billions of dollars to knock it up 5 pennies, a nickel. So I was like, unless Elon Musk burns his collection of Doge, I don't think it's ever gonna be what Bitcoin is. A lot of people think it will be. I was like, how though? Like really think about that. It takes $25 billion, almost 30 billion, just to move it up 15 cents. Yeah. And just like, okay, well, I don't think there's enough money in the world to bring it up to
And there's just too many people who are faster than you, know the market more than you do, and have AI helping them. So it's like,
yeah. Can you show me how to set up a sniper thing? Like, show me how to do that because I want to get in on this. Same thing with Trump coin. That got sniped. Yeah. You know, like that was almost a rug pull. Like I would almost call it a rug pull, but no one talks about that because he's the president. And I'm sure he's covering it up pretty good. Another one is Melania coin. So did you watch any of the CoffeeZilla stuff I sent you?
I watched one of them.
Okay, the short one probably. Okay. Melania coin was done by one of the guys who made Libra coin. So Libra coin, which is the basis for our conversation today, at least this part of it, Hayden Wheeler, he worked with the Argentina president. What was his name? It was something weird. Argentina.
It was something non-American.
Yeah. Milei. Javier Milei. Try to help me remember that name. Javier Milei. Argentina president. He promoted Libra coin. Libra coin came out. Everyone invested in it. And I think it was $100 million of money that was just rug pulled. So let me find that. Yep. $100 million are missing from Libra coin. Their first thing they say is like, oh, snipers. You know what I mean? Like, oh, snipers did it. That's what Haley Welch said on Hot Coin. She's like, oh, snipers got it, guys. What they don't tell you is they're the ones sniping it. Like, yes, I'm sure there are independent AI snipers that are taking money. But what happened to Libra was Hayden Wheeler, the founder, he sniped it. Yeah. He sniped his own coin. And so he took the money. And where the Argentina president comes in is he tweeted like, hey, Libra coin is coming in. He backed it. And then the coin came out, Libra, and then it got sniped and the value of it went down to zero. So all the money's gone. $100 million just went missing. Right. And, you know, I did my best to research this, guys. I don't remember everything that happened, but like, just bear with me. I'm doing my best here. $100 million went missing. And Hayden Wheeler hopped on an interview with CoffeeZilla, and he admitted, I have it. I have the $100 million. He said, I don't know what to do with it. So I wrote notes down for the whole interview with CoffeeZilla. So he blames snipers. $100 million are missing. The goal, he said, was to offload the money to beat the snipers. So he was saying...
He was going to distribute it independently rather than...
Right.
I see.
Yeah, so he was going to snipe it first to beat the bots.
So smelly, but whatever.
Yes, but his goal is like, now we can put it back in. The snipers are gone, right?
Yeah. That's
so he has most of the money, $100 million. What he was trying to do was he was trying to tell CoffeeZilla, hey, I don't know how to do this correctly.
Can you do it for me?
Can you do it for me? Right? And he's like, CoffeeZilla's, or me, I'd be like, no. Right. You know? Honestly, dude. Okay, so now, side note, you and I, if he offered you and me to do it, would you want to try and do it?
It sounds like the freaking Nigerian prince scam, you know? Like, no, I don't want any part of that. First of all, like, that's hot money, you know? Like, people's
dirty
money. That's people's money.
Yeah.
You know? Like, no, I don't want that heat. Sorry.
Would you be tempted? Would you be tempted to take some of it off the top?
I think there's always temptation, right?
What do you think? What would you do? $100 million. Now it's in our hands.
He was just like, all right, I want you to distribute this.
Yes. Because that's what we tried to do to CoffeeZilla. He wanted to take the hot money off of him, is what happened. And and I'm willing
People kill for that, dude.
Oh, I bet you he would have taken some off the top. That's a lot of money just to pass to someone else, right? But anyway.
And then, like, how much would be enough? So, and then, like,
1 million.
People would be looking. Well, people would be looking at you. It's like, well, where'd you get all this money from?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, yeah, no. I mean, I say you don't know what you're gonna do unless it's offered to you right in front of you. But
yeah,
I'd like to think I'd say no. That I would come to my senses, but
Yeah.
also, I don't know. I can be a bleeding heart sometimes if you really give me the puppy dog guys.
Right, but like, so think of it this way, like, you wanted 50K. Let's just say, like, hey, I'm not taking that much. Like, you justify it in your head. I'm just taking 50K. You know, I could get a down payment on a house. Consider that my processing fee. It wouldn't be. Do you think it'd be that hard to cover up? You know, like, hey, I'm just using this as an example. Cash App would never do this, but like, you know, $100 million, sure, that's not raising any red flags. They would never do it. But let's just say, hey, Cash App, in order to transfer the money, took a service fee of 2%. You know, and it's like this is how I had to move the money.
And I would tell him it took 5%. Then,
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like it'd be easy to cover up, dude. Honestly, like, hey, I had
especially if he's asking CoffeeZilla to do this for him. He probably doesn't know. How anything works. He just was in the right place, right time. But
so I will feel for him. He said, and I think he's right. Everyone else off on the project jumped ship. So Hayden Wheeler, now obviously he's like the main guy.
Yeah.
But all his friends that were helping him make this coin left him out to dry. It's where he's sitting on $100 million of hot money, like you said, other people's money. The pressure's on him. Argentina president dipped out, deleted his tweets, and like acted like he didn't promote the coin.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, you're left holding the bag. That does suck. You know what I mean? Like on that front, I can level with you. Like there's a little bit of sympathy. Like
he probably was like panicking.
He was so desperate. He's like, hey, like, you know, he's asking CoffeeZilla for help. Like, you know, I'll give you like half a point for like, hey, I need help trying to distribute this correctly. Like, sure. But like when you're listening to the interview, he's like, you know, he's still not taking responsibility. He's still delusional. He said, Javier Milei, the Argentina president, he was like, you know, in that interview with CoffeeZilla, he kept saying, "Oh, Milei, he's trying to like distance himself now, but he'll come back. He'll start promoting it again. I think he's just trying to take a step back and evaluate." And I was like, "No, dude, Milei is about to face impeachment for this scam that he promoted. You know, I mean, like he's not coming back, dude. Like he's leaving you hung out to dry. He's like, no, he'll come back. Like he's just like, you know, trying to take a step back and reevaluate. But I don't know why he's doing that. But you know, he'll come back. He'll be back. You know, and he'll start promoting it again." I was like, dude, you're an idiot. And there's other stuff he did. So let me work my way down here. He said Milei was supposed to keep promoting the project, and they were going to keep putting the money back in. He did say insiders were the high level people who also got a cut of the profit. He admitted to that.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, he wasn't sure why Milei would delete the tweet. You know, he's like, it was delusional. He just kept saying, I don't know why Milei deleted his tweet, you know, but I know he's going to come back and keep marketing, you know. Then he said Malei's not making any money off of the coin. Now, do you believe that? He said, no, Malei's not getting paid for this.
Maybe he believes that.
Right.
I don't know if that's reality, though.
But he's in control of the money, so he would know that's a lie. So do you think he's lying?
I don't know why he would be so honest about so much and then lie about like little things like that. So
you would actually maybe believe him for that?
I don't know. He seems like desperate and panic broken enough to where I think he's like open book at this point. So I don't know.
You think so? You really think open book? So because he claimed he's not making any money off of this. You believe him?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy things happen. I'm pretty sure no one's giving him the benefit of the doubt, but
right, I'm not.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: I was thinking,
why would he do something this self-destructive? That's my
Right.
point. You know, is
you know, people would just say he's an idiot, like because like
he is, but
everyone who rug pulls does these interviews, and they say like, oh, it wasn't a rug pull. Like the guy that ran Haley Welch's coin, Hawk to a Girl. You remember when he hopped on a Discord and he was telling everybody like, it's not a scam, it's not a. He's lying. You know, we didn't make any money off of this. Like he's lying through his teeth. Every time Logan Paul, he's not taking any responsibility for Crypto Zoo. You know, like these people can't help themselves but hop online, defend themselves one time, and then disappear after that. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I would say him hopping on and being transparent is not out of character for all these other scams. Like, everyone does that. The kid that stole that made 3 crypto scams, he made 3 of them, and he still gets on. And he's like, haha, laughing at people. Like, I don't know. Like, they can't help themselves. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't put any.
I think all of his friends wanted to do something to make a lot of money, and he was left hung to dry, and he didn't know what to do. So I don't know how much he'd be like able to lie, because like it doesn't seem like he's that smart. So how could he, cover up that much? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I've seen criminals do crazy things when they get like the spotlight on them. You know? So maybe he's just being 100% honest, and he has no intention of doing that, or maybe he's too scared to touch the money at this point. That's why he wants to get it out of his pockets,
right?
Because he doesn't want to deal with the repercussions. But I don't know. You never know.
You're right. I was gonna say, so if your argument being, hey, he hopped on, maybe he's
I'm playing more devil's advocate here.
Sure.
But yes,
but but to refute that, if let's say that was your real opinion, to refute that, I'd say everyone's done that. Everyone's hopped on and tried to defend themselves and say it's not a scam. So I personally. My reasoning for not putting stock into that is because every other scammer does that.
He's just obviously not top dog, though. He obviously wasn't the guy. So, I don't know. Is the president getting any heat at all?
He's facing impeachment.
Oh,
and a lot of criminal complaints right now.
See, I think he's like probably more to blame, but
he's a big part of it for sure. Because if Trump had supported LibreCoin and said, "Hey, y'all need to get in on this," I'd fall for that.
Sure.
Like
and then he disappeared, and he completely refutes that.
Yeah. I'd fall for that. So no, he's definitely has a big at fault for it for sure. Like I think he should be criminally charged. I think he should be impeached and convicted. Yeah. So no, he has a big part of it for sure. Absolutely, he is not blameless. Yeah. But anyway, so I was just asking your opinion on that. Like, where do you think he's at? Do you think he's telling the truth? You're like, playing devil's advocate. I get it. So here's another one that the big bombshell comes at the end of my notes, but okay, the guy that's on the call with CoffeeZilla, he said insiders, some of them got reimbursed. So some of the celebrities that promoted this, I don't remember their names, but some of the celebrities put money in and got rug pulled. Hayden Wheeler, he's like, "Oh, I feel bad for you. I'm just gonna throw a name out there. I was going to say, oh, Taylor Swift. Oh, I'm so sorry you got scammed. It wasn't her. Of all people. I just couldn't think of anybody. So like, hey, I feel bad for you, Taylor. Here's your money back. So they got reimbursed for the money they lost.
But
the you and me's of the world didn't. Yeah. So it's like, what the heck? So that was a big.
The more and more I hear this, the more and more it just sounds like I had a whole bunch of friends and I'm by myself right now, and everyone's looking at me.
So the insiders were
now, these people, these celebrities, powerful people. So it may have been I don't know if it was so much I bet he was intimidated into doing it. I bet they came after him and they actually had some power. So that's why he gave them money. Sure. I don't think it was I want to help out my friends. I think it was generally like they strong-armed him.
Oh, right. I wouldn't.
And this is not a defense of him. I'm just saying that's probably what happened.
Oh, yeah. No.
That's why he's not giving money to anyone else, because they don't have power right now.
Well, that and he can't pay them all back. Even $100 million that went missing, that's still... like the fees for the website they used, everyone else that invested, like they own a stake of it. The insider trading, the stake, their share is more than what he has in his pocket. I bet you that $100 million is still like not even all the money that went into it. Yeah. So, okay. There's that. That's very fishy. He like either his friends or the people that had power over it. He reimbursed them, the people that lost money. Okay, so then he started talking about like, well, all coins have insiders. So like CoffeeZilla saying, hey, all the insiders are the ones that pocketed the money. And like Hayden's like, dude, like all deals, all projects have insiders, bro. Like you can't just hold me accountable for that. Like everybody has insiders that are getting paid,
that makes it better.
And then he said the only people who complain about insiders are the people who aren't the insiders. And I was like, what? Yeah.
Solid.
If I'm complaining that I got ripped off and the people that were already inside didn't get ripped off, I think that's a fair complaint, you know? And he's like, nah, dude, the only people that complain are the people that aren't in the know. You know, I was like, dude, that's what I'm saying. Delusional, man. Like they're these people, they are delusional. Like they just don't get it, you know? It's
when I was saying how it's saturated and everyone can get dip their toes into it, like you get dumb people who are in control of big amounts of money. They don't know what to do and they don't know what to say. They don't know how to defend themselves. It's
right,
just,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So like I'm listening to this, I'm like, oh my God, like these guys are crazy. Okay, so here's the thing, and I already said this at the beginning, but it was kind of being pieced out as But he said he had his own snipers linked to the project account, which sniped the money. So his goal was to snipe it before everyone else did, and then put the money back in. But then he just didn't. He underestimated how big of a deal this was going to be. He underestimated Malay pulling out. He underestimated all the other insiders pulling out and then having to pay back his friends or whoever was holding the power. It just became bigger than he thought. He's like, he sniped the money. He's like,
he should go to jail.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, and he's like, I don't know what to do with this. Like, I sniped the money like I thought I was, but like everyone's mad at me. Argentina's mad at me. My buddy, the president's about to be impeached. Like, it just became a huge deal. Now, one of the bigger bombshells at the end was the guy, Hayden Wheeler, the guy in charge of Libra. He was also on Melania coin, Melania Trump. And the same exact thing happened to Melania Trump coin, where it got sniped immediately and everyone lost their money. Like, and it's like, but nobody's talking about those coins, Trump coin or Melania coin. And that's very interesting to me that nobody's talking about that.
Well, it depends on who sniped him, but yeah, Elon Musk did.
Yeah, no, Elon, yeah. I wonder how many scams Elon Musk is involved in, you know, in what ways he's ripping off people. I'm sure he is to some degree.
A little car named Tesla.
No one can afford a Tesla, though. That's a blatant rip-off scam.
What do you think about all the Teslas being vandalized? Or just...
We'd have to go to politics to talk about that. I don't know if you want to go that direction.
That's true.
Yeah, but like I can tell you what I think off camera. But yeah, I am not for. I will say, I can say this without getting political. I am not for destruction of property. Like, I'm sorry. Like, whether it's a rich CEO getting killed or burning down, rioting in a city. I'm sorry. I'm just not for murder. I'm not for destruction of property. That's all I'm gonna say. That's right. Amen and a women. Anyway.
Sorry, I keep thinking about Wings of Redemption. I'm on this kick right now.
Yeah, I know. It's a good story. I watched that video like 5 times.
It's intoxicating.
Yeah, from Down the Rabbit Hole. That's a fun one too. But yeah. No. Anyway. Crazy story, man, and it's not going to be the last crypto scam. That's the thing.
No, it's going to be one of those annoying things that probably goes on way too long. I don't even know if it has an end point. As long as there can be some money made by some rich investors, you know, like that's the problem. It's that the only people who are ever going to profit are the rich people who are already rich. It's the same thing with the stock market, you know, like if you think, oh man, you might make a couple $1,000s at most sometimes, but like I'm gonna be, you know, like I'm gonna start this, I'm gonna take this seriously as a side hobby. I'm gonna start investing in things. It's like good freaking luck unless you have like really good insider information anymore.
You have to be an insider.
You have to spend so much time and effort and energy onto it. I'm just like,
well, actually, that's one thing Hayden said was like, honestly, if you're an average Joe, you're not going to make money off of crypto. And it's like, unless you just really know what you're doing, like, unless you just really know how to look at everything, manage, like you said, look at the trends, unless you're an expert in it. If you're an average Joe, you're not going to make money unless you're an insider. Yeah. And he said, I would not recommend the average guy. And it's crazy to me that he said this because he's ripping off those people, but he still said it.
And he's telling them to invest.
But he was being, in this moment, he's being honest. Like, it's luck based or you have to be an insider. Yeah. Like you either get really lucky, or you know maybe you really know what you're doing. Or you're an insider and you're ripping off people. Yeah. The odds of me making real money off of it obviously are pretty slim. But like I don't know, I still want to be confident in the coins I invested in. You know, like I said, Kuma. I really think they're trying to do good work. And like you know, I at least think they have the right intentions behind their coin. I don't. I just want to cash out as soon as there's money. But I actually think they're trying to make something to where crypto isn't worthless, where it's actually like you can do stuff with it. So
I kind of a play off what you asked me earlier. What if it was before the coin was initiated? What if who's the actor you said you wanted to meet really bad?
Tom Wilson.
Sorry, Tom Wilson. He comes to you when you go to his booth. And he's like, "Hey, I've seen your stuff. Oddly enough, and I'm thinking about making a coin.
Yeah,
are you in?"
I'm in. All right, but it has to be called Salty Spittoon Coin. Salty Coin.
But you have to promote it on your podcast. You have to get all your viewers to buy into it.
Okay.
And then he looks around. He's like, "But at a certain point, we're just gonna take it."
I highly doubt that's how those meetings go. Like last episode we talked about the stockholder meetings and all that stuff. Like
but Tom Wilson, he's no typical cookie dude.
Yeah, he just comes out and says what he means.
Says what he means. He's like, then he pulls you by the head. He's like, "Hello, dum dum, hello."
Yeah. In that song, the question song, that's one of his things he hates hearing. He's like, "Come on, look mean," when you look in pictures, or he's like, "Can you call my friend a butthead on his answering machine?" So yeah, it's pretty funny. But yeah. Yes, I would. I actually, he wouldn't tell me it's a rug pull scan, but he'll just say, "Hey, snipers, hello, McFly, snipers. Do you want our coin to get sniped, McFly?" I'm like, "My name's Caleb, McFly." He's like, "What about snipers, McFly?"
That's as dumb as a screen door on a battleship.
Yep. And I'd be like, "Hey, you know what though? You're right. Snipers, you're right." Yeah. So we if he said, "Hey, Caleb, we got to snipe it first before snipers get to it," I'd be like, "You're right. We got to do it."
That's the difference between you and me. Yeah. I'd be the sniper.
I say we work on our own sniper thing. You know what I mean? I think we should do that.
You hear that, audience? Look in the camera. Look in the camera. I want you to tell your audience that you need to buy in.
We're not stealing from people.
No, look at them right now. Don't look away.
We're not stealing from y'all. We're stealing from bad projects.
We're stealing for the people who deserve it, man. They're all the CEOs out there.
They're gonna steal your coin anyway.
Yeah.
So why not?
We're just keeping it in a safe place.
Why don't we just get to it before they do?
You're gonna lose your money anyway. That's your argument.
You heard it from Malay. You heard it from Hayden Wheeler. They snipe the coin before the snipers do it. Yeah. So let's just out-snipe them.
We can do it, audience.
We steal from the rich and we keep it to ourselves. I mean, give to the poor, which is us.
We don't talk about it.
Yeah. I didn't say who the poor was. It's really us. But
poor Caleb.
That was the thing with Hot Coin. She said, like, "Oh, I'm gonna give it to charity." Why is that? I hate their go-to buzzwords.
It's charity.
Yeah,
because that's so vague.
It's
and there's
vague.
A billion charities out there that could be anything.
Yeah, because what assuming I'm on board with your lie, like, "Oh, I was gonna give it to charity," like, "Oh, that's a buzzword." Like, same thing with Amber Heard.
Yeah,
she's like, "Oh, I don't even want the money I'm taking from Johnny Depp. I'm gonna give it to charity. I pledged it, and then she just kept it. She didn't give it. She pledged it.
Right.
So it's like, why? I hate why drag a perfectly good charity into your BS and like run their name through the mud, And it's like, so let's
anyone can say charity. They don't even say what. Foundation ever.
Let's say I believe you, right? Let's say I believe you're going to give it to charity. Well, what charity are we talking about? Like, there's some dumb charities that are going to something
the Amber Heard.
Needs
more money.
Exactly. There are charities donated to helping homeless cats. I'm like, I'm not going to. What?
Would you see that whole thing about the completionist? How he kind of, I don't know if he technically scanned people. You know who he is, right?
Nuh-uh.
He's kind of an old OG YouTuber.
That makes sense.
But anyway, he always had, like, on these streams, he always had this charity that he would give to, and Mudahar was the one who did the report. I think he teamed up with someone, but yeah, Mudahar was the one who like investigated it. Where like during our streams, he says, "Hey, 100% of these streams goes to this particular charity." I forget kind of what the charity was, but it was basically like all the money goes to this. And then he kind of went back and forth. Sometimes he said, well, of course, there's costs to doing the streams. Money goes back to the stream first, and then it goes straight to charity. Well, people did a lot of digging, and apparently there was like $100,000 just in a bank that was never touched. That was just like sitting there. Like, it was never put in anyone's pocket, but it never went to the place where he said he was going to put it.
Yeah.
He kept on shining out this one charity, and they were like, well, we never really received anything. And it was like this big back and forth. You know, he was like, no, the money's there, you know, and then he said, oh no, my family's the one who was involved on that. I just am the face. I don't actually deal with any of it. It was just like back and forth, back and forth. And his channel dipped a lot.
Oh yeah.
Since he's pretty much done for. But it was just like, yeah, charity. You throw charity back then when you threw, and I think of all these big YouTubers who had the charity live streams. You know, like when they did that, you didn't really question where the money was actually going. You just gave money. You know, I'm not saying that all of them were bad. I'm just saying like, that was a perfect, ample opportunity for someone to do something. So yeah,
and nobody was the wiser until like. I tell you, man, they hop on stream and they let something slip, and that's when people start digging. You know, it's like, you know. So, well, since we're talking about money, I had another topic for you. I'm assuming you're familiar with Dave Ramsey. Like, So, do you watch a lot of his stuff, or do you subscribe to any of his methods of saving?
Not particularly. There's only one that I stay true to, but that's it. From one of his teachings is.
Is that baby step one?
Yeah.
$1,000? Okay, well, that's perfect then. Because my question is $1,000 enough in today's economy? Or is that an outdated...
I also do the whole thing where $250 always goes to savings no matter what. But yeah, probably not. Inflation, more than likely, it's going to be like closer to 5, I think.
5,000?
Yeah. Okay. To be really safe. But.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so... well, that was quick. No, I'm just kidding. No, so somebody I watched. Are you familiar with Caleb Hammer?
No.
He's the guy that he does financial audits, and basically on his channel, it's a podcast just like this, same setup. It's him, and he sits across from someone who is like in a really bad pinch financially, like really bad. And he'll go through their bank statements, he'll go through all their debt, their bills, and he looks at all the paperwork, and he's like, and the first 45 minutes is him like, dude, what are you doing? Right. OnlyFans $50? Like, oh my God, you go to the gas station every day? Yeah. You know, like you're buying $50 worth of nothing, you know? And so when I found him, he got famous for getting onto this life coach. And this life coach was in such bad debt, like really bad. And basically like he asked her, he's like, are you qualified to be a life coach if you're in such a bad financial mess, your life is in shambles, are you qualified to be a life coach? And she didn't have an answer. She just kept dancing around it. Well, I don't give financial advice, you know, should just but that's what that was a very famous viral clip. I see. Then that's what kind of gave him a really, really big audience, I think. So now he's at 1 million subscribers. And he's probably pretty famous before that. But yeah, so basically, he got on with another financial guy's podcast. It's called the Iced Coffee Hour podcast. Do you know who Stephen Graham is? Do you ever watch his stuff? No. Real skinny guy. He was in the first Creator Clash, and he fought the real skinny guy that's iDubbbz' friend.
Gotcha.
So he does his he likes to do his financial advice channel. Well, Caleb Hammer hopped on that show, and he said, "Yeah, $1,000 is outdated." You know, and he says, "Like I love Dave Ramsey. We've all hopped on his show once because they're all finance guys, and obviously Dave Ramsey's finance." And he said, "You know, $1,000, like that's not it. You want at least 1 month expenses set aside for you know, as your emergency fund. You want 1 month's expenses." And all that kind of stuff. So obviously, so they were talking, they agree, like, yeah, Dave Ramsey's like outdated. So I did some looking because Caleb let it slip that, you know, Dave Ramsey's defended $1,000 fairly recently. So I found a clip from 2023, which wasn't that long ago. Like inflation, that's a good indicator. Like 2023 is not that different from now. And somebody asked him, he's like, hey, like, at a panel where they're all sitting on stage, someone asked Dave Ramsey, went up to the mic, and he said, hey, as you know, your book, Financial Makeover, came out in 2003, and your first baby step is $1,000. And basically, you know, it's 2023 now, 20 years. Do you still think $1,000 is still enough? And then Dave Ramsey, he said no. He's like, $1,000 wasn't enough in 2003. You know, like that's literally just for, you know, if a tire blows out, you have $1,000. You know, like if you take your kids to the physician real fast, that could cost you a couple $100. It's like $1,000. You know what I mean? Like, it was never meant to be a long-term savings.
Yeah.
Like that's literally when you're hunkering down, paying off your debt.
Yeah.
$1,000, like for just something. He said originally when they started doing the teachings before for baby step 1, he said originally we didn't have the $1,000 baby step, and he said I used to be just don't worry about your $1,000. That wasn't even a concept. He just said just pay off your debt, pay off your debt, pay off your debt. And then he said, but then that wasn't working. People would give up halfway through it, or the first couple months they'd give up because something would come up and it would knock them off balance because they didn't have money saved to fix their tire, to take their kids to the physician. So then they added the $1,000 baby step for those reasons. But he's like, but that was never meant to be this is your savings, you're good.
Right.
He's like, that's literally why you're paying off debt. You have something for that emergency. Because I talked with Darcy and a bunch of other people that say, well, there's no $1,000 emergencies. I was like, well, yeah, if you got cancer and you got to go to chemo, yeah, $1,000 ain't going to cover it. Or even Dave said, like, if your transmission goes out, yeah, $1,000 ain't going to cover it. But he's like, that's not what that's for. He's like, baby step 1 is savings, and then he said by baby step 3, I tell you to save 3 to 6 months worth of savings, like for expenses, that's your long-term savings emergency fund. He's like, that's way down the line on your baby steps. He's like, basically, the reason I kept it broad, he said, what I tell you later, once your debt's paid off, is to put 15% into your savings per month or whatever, which is kind of what you said, like $250, just something like something to savings every month, right? He said that's what I tell y'all to do. When I say 15%, that rises with inflation. So with inflation, he said wages are higher up in 20 years now than they've ever been. 15% of your income, since income's up, 15% is so broad, it scales up with inflation and with higher wages. Exactly. So he's like, that's why I didn't have. Why did I say 15% as opposed to always have 15,000 in your savings account? Because 15,000 can't give you what it could in 2003. He's like, so that's why I said 15% as opposed to a set dollar amount, because then I would have to start updating those numbers with inflation. He said, but 15%, that raises with everything else that you factor into it. So I was like, okay, that sounds right. That sounds about right. Because nowadays people are hitting on. Were you gonna say something?
Was Caleb Hammer just misinformed then?
No. A lot of people are like what you said at the beginning. They just look at $1,000. Well, with inflation, that just doesn't cover. He's like, yeah, but Dave said, like, yeah, no, I agree. It's not enough for your savings, but it wasn't enough back then. Yeah, it's never enough. Like, absolutely, $1,000 was never meant to be enough. That's literally just for a small fix, you know what I mean? But you said, but baby step 3 was you do want 3 to 6 months worth of savings. You do want to put 15% into savings over, each time, something like that. That's what he said. But he said the $1,000 is for while you're saving your debt. You know what I mean? So, but I get it. He also mentioned, like, everyone thinks they're the main character. He didn't say those words, but he said, like, everybody thinks they're the outlier. Everyone thinks they're the, no, you don't understand, Dave. I'm in a different boat. Your book doesn't work for me. It's like everyone says that, but like, and you know what though, like financially, like, everyone can do what works for them. If you're in so much debt where, like, look, dude, you're doing what works for you isn't working. You need to do what Dave Ramsey said, or what Caleb Hammer says, or what Stephen Graham, Stephen Graham says. Like, fine, but like you have to get on something because what you're doing isn't working for you, obviously. So, but I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, how do you feel now that we talked about what Dave said? How do you feel about it?
It just makes sense. I mean, like, 'cause he's popular for a reason.
Right.
He's like a household name at this point. It's really cool. It's mainstream, but
yeah.
See,
I talked a lot, so go ahead.
So much of it is just, I mean, like 90% of debt just comes from unnecessary spending.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a random number I pulled out, but I'm assuming it's just like most of the time it just comes from unnecessary spending and just indulgence and not having that nest egg. That you think. I know a lot of people who do have that mentality. Is like, as long as I do have the 1,000, and I never really bought into that. But now with context, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Percentages always trump, like bottom line numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
They always will. So, but yeah, I mean, What's really cool about Dave Ramsey is like even like the first couple of lessons you'll learn, they just work really, really well.
Yeah.
Like if you just put them in practice, like you'll see improvement, just like from what my experience at least, just a lot of improvement just from like simple stuff like that. From word of mouth actually, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing what Dave Ramsey says, you're going to save more than $1,000, you know what I mean? But like his big focus while you hold on to that 1,000 is pay off your debt.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I'm real lucky. I don't owe anything except for my car's paid off, and I have like $8K left in student loans, and the minimum payment's like $100 a month.
I've got car payment and credit cards, but like not an insane amount either.
Yeah.
So
that's good because some people, I know some people, they already have that much in credit card debt. I'm like, how do you have that much in credit card debt?
Like nowhere near $1,000 in credit card debt.
Yeah.
But some people have like, $5,000 in credit card debt.
Well, some people have 20, 30K in credit card debt. Yeah. Like 5 ain't bad at all. Like, hey, I wanted a 3D printer and I put it on a credit card. That way I get cash back over time, that type of stuff. That's fine. But I was like, some people have 30K in credit card debt and they're just laughing it off. And like, I get laughing is a way to deal with the grief.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm like, dude, how can you laugh off? Like you owe that much money for nothing. Like, what do you have to show for that?
There was a funny thing. I don't know who said it originally, but it was like when you're talking to a kid, like a teenager about like, hey man, like how much do you actually know how much $1,000 is worth? And they're like, oh my gosh, I'd be the most rich person in the world. I can't even imagine that amount of money. He's like, well, do you know what it would feel like to owe $1,000? And they're like, they can't even comprehend it. It's just like one of those things. It's like, yeah, like money gets really scary pretty early on in life, and I just don't know if there's a lot of good resources online, but like I don't know if we're in the generation right now where like everyone's super savvy on that. I think everyone's just focused on getting rich.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't be your focus. It should be stable. Stability is always going to be better than that.
I'm looking toward the future now, obviously, because like we want to have kids within the next year and a half, I think, and at least start trying. So I was like, her parents did it very well for her, leaving her money for paying off the wedding. They paid off her college.
That's nice.
And they gave her money for a down payment on a house. So I'm like, I don't make nearly enough money to have that. So I was looking into index funds. You know anything about those?
Yeah.
Basically, do you know what compound interest is?
No.
So compound interest is, let's say I put $1,000 into an account that has 10% compound interest. Let's make it easy. 10% of $1,000 is $100. So the first compound interest payment is $100.
Okay.
What makes it compound interest is it's going to be 10% each time of whatever's in that account. Instead of 10% of the initial $1,000 you put in, which is just interest, just $100 over time, it's actually a compound of what's in the account. So now it's 10% of 1,100. It's compound because it keeps building off of what was in there before.
I see.
That's compound interest. Index funds apparently have really high interest rates, compound interest rates, like really high.
I see.
So Warren Buffett, he is like a major billionaire.
Yeah.
He said the best way to build wealth is to put money into an index fund and just leave it in there for 20 years. That's just the easiest way, safe, tried and true way to build wealth.
Yeah.
So what I was thinking was, for our kids, if I start when they're born putting $100 into an index fund, try to find the best one with the best compound interest, $100 a month, and then it just keeps sitting in there while they're growing up. And then by the time they're 20, they could have a decent chunk of change in there, And it's like, I can't do what Maddie's parents did, like the way they can do it now. Where it's like, oh, you need help? Here, we got you. Here's the money. Like my job does not make that kind of money. But an index fund over time, over 20 years, just putting $100 in, like if the compound interest is that high, they're set, They might be somewhat wealthy by the time they come out. Like even if they have $100K sitting in there by the time they're 20, that's great. That's a lot of money. It doesn't really put a dent in college tuition anymore, but that's still like that's good money. Like you could do whatever you want with it by the time you're 20.
Right.
I don't know if I'd give it to them by the time they're 20 because they have the potential to make some bad decisions.
They're like, we heard about this new coin. Well, it's gonna be. 20 years from now, it's gonna be like, I don't know, something. What's the next evolution? of crypto?
I don't know. Something stupid, I'm sure.
Yeah. Selling organs.
Yeah. Man, I can't tell you how many times I was so tempted to put money from our housing fund into the crypto before inauguration. Like XRP, I was like, I know it's going to make money by inauguration day. I was so tempted to put it in there before inauguration, dude. And man, like it would have paid off pretty good. I would have doubled it. But I was like, man, I can't put Maddie in that situation. It's like I can't afford to put in the money that I'm not prepared to lose. Sure. You know what I mean? So I put in $1,000 instead. But I was like, man, if I could put $20K, the money I have in my account. She has money in her account, and that money I told you her parents have that's in another account. But the money I have, man, if I could have put $20K in there and doubled it and then cashed out, man, I'm telling you, that would have been a sight to behold. I told you Dogecoin was double worth what it is now on inauguration day, man. You know how many people put in and thought, oh, now's the time to put in Trump's president, and then just left it in there, and now whatever they put in is worth half, because everyone cashed it out. It's like, man,
you gotta buy it early now.
I know, I'm telling you, for next inauguration. Yeah. So I need to look into whatever JD Vance is promoting, because it's probably going to be Vance Coin. I should probably get in on that when he runs. Now that's
has he announced it? Has he announced it yet?
No, he's not an idiot.
Okay. No, I mean that
he's running.
He's running.
No, he said he keeps saying, "Well, we'll decide that when it comes."
Yeah, okay.
He's lying. He's definitely gonna run. He ran against Trump. He's definitely gonna run against whoever the nominee is for the Democrats. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think? Do you have any long-term investment plans? You got anything you're comfortable sharing?
No, I've never been. But recently I think I've mentioned it. I'm just not I don't value money that much anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't really have any reason to. So, I'm putting away for my future, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not touching my retirement plan.
Good.
That's all I really need,
I agree. Yeah.
I'm not looking to make oogles amount of money. I'd like to, I guess, buy a house eventually. But at the same point, I'm just like, what for? Why?
I would love to quit working. That way I could focus more on the channel. I think I'd have more fulfillment if hey, I don't have to work anymore because I accidentally made a lot of money on crypto.
I just get enjoyment out of working. It just helps. So I'm I don't have that desire to retire.
I think you're one of the few because I don't think anyone else I know enjoys working.
I would go kind of crazy. I'm not great at finding hobbies that I'll stick with,
Yeah.
Just having something to, I don't know, a set schedule that's kind of to plan on, every week, that's actually building towards something rather than just I'm gonna have to really think about what to do with my time, because then I sign up for way too many things and then never really fulfill any of them. While I'm working, there's just that mindset, that professional mindset that's just always there.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not in any rush to make a ton of money.
We've stuck with this though. So I know this isn't your hobby of oh, this is what I want to do, but it is for me though. This would be my job if I could retire early that. This would be what I would do. I got off money that I can just screw around with and do what I want to do now. I'd be doing this. This would be the channel. So I don't know. I have a backup plan for if my cryptos took off, which involves this. I could probably buy more equipment. Another Sony camera. I was thinking back to when you sold me this one, and I was like, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, "No, dude, really, you just want my camera. That's what you want. This is my camera's the one that'll do it." It was so funny how many times I have a question about this camera. Yeah, don't get that one. You want this one.
And is it not? Is it not everything you've wanted?
Almost. It was blurry last week.
Yeah, that's the camera's fault.
Camera's fault. But yeah, no, it is. It was funny. I was like, "What do you think about this one?" No. You want mine.
Because you always went to these friends who were like, yeah, you want this, and that. I'm like, no. They always would either tell you something that's way too much or way unnecessary.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple when it comes to the world of cameras, video cameras particularly. There's a rank, right? Sony AS7. It's great.
But also for what we're doing, which is nothing. This is fine.
Yep.
So I haven't had any problems except when the shutter speeds. Do you check the shutter speed today?
My gosh, dude. You think I'm an amateur?
No, it's just it sneaks up on us, dude. The shutter speed just sneaks up. It's
not on me.
Okay. All right. Fine. I'll give you that. Except 3 episodes ago, because somebody touches the camera and touches stuff and then doesn't change it back on us. But anyway. Yeah. No, this would be what I'd do if we could get, if I made FU money like that though, like let's say, I woke up tomorrow and 500 million, because that happened to the guy who invested in Shiba super early. He put 4K into Shiba and he woke up a 1.4 billionaire.
Right.
If I woke up that day, like that guy one day, I think everybody would get a piece of that. Like there's nothing I could do with that
You'd
money.
give back to the people. You go to CoffeeZilla and say, please distribute this.
I'd get not the people who got burned. Talk about my friends. All my friends would get a cut of that. It's like winning the lottery. Like, what am I going to do with?
Oh, you don't want to do that. Then people are going to go after you for more money.
Yes. I was about to say no, they won't. Yeah, they will.
Yes,
You're
they
right.
will.
You're right. Absolutely, they will. I'm not naive.
Yeah.
I am in a lot of
now,
ways.
I'm a business partner, but this is not your friend.
Yeah, I know. No, I agree, but that's where I'd have to get coached on how to say no.
Yeah.
Like, look, dude, I already gave you $1 million, bro. Why are you asking me for another $1 million? Like, no. Like, you messed up, and you got to live with it. I'd have to practice because you're right. It's going to happen.
Off the record, I know some of your friends absolutely.
Yeah, I'd have to say no. Off the record, we can talk about which friends,
Yeah.
but you're right. No, you are 100% right, and some family members.
Oh yeah,
you know,
no,
like,
to anyone, as soon as money is involved, you know, that's why you don't even want to tell people what you make.
Well,
like,
I've debated like not telling certain people in my family, like, hey, I'm, you know, and like I'd give some people money, and I'm like, I'm debating, like, should I even tell?
yeah, once you start like, I'm going to buy my parents a big house or something like that. It's like, well, I also have to buy them 2 new cars, and I also have to buy them.
My parents aren't like that, but I wouldn't buy them a big house per se, but I would see myself paying off the house they already have, and then like, I mean, that's free money, you know. But if I made a billionaire worth of money overnight, then I'd, you know, I wouldn't mind giving everyone $1 million or something like that, you know. But I can evaluate it on a case by case. Some people I wouldn't just give $1 million to, because that's giving them a license to go screw up their life. I'd be like, I could see myself paying off their debt to where they can start over, you know, something like that. Like give them crumbs. Because if you give them the whole sandwich, they're going to mess their life up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to do that.
Well, make them work for it. Don't even give them a handout. Just like do something.
That's fair. Yeah. I agree. Because a lot of people don't think like that. They just think, oh, everyone gets money. And it's like, well, that's not helping everybody. It helps a lot of people. Someone like me, if someone gave me $1 million, like, absolutely, I think I'd do some good work with it, and put it where it needs to be put. Some other people, that you give them $1 million, and it's like, no, like you just ruined their life. You made them, you gave them the means to
they'll go through it.
More bad decisions.
Sounds like a lot of money, but they'll go through it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know I have a good sense of who I could and could not do that to. And like you said, make some people just work for it. Like, it's there. They just have to put some work in to get to it. You know, like it doesn't have to be this big deal. So anyway. All right, I think that's it. We're at an hour already.
Absolutely.
So thanks, guys, for tuning in. You want to usher us out, Shaps?
All right. Everyone stand.
I hate you. I almost did it, too. Everyone in the audience, stand up.
We salute you, the Third Wheel Podcast, for we all are the third wheel in every conversation. Goodbye.
Goodbye.